Hey everyone, it's Jen with the Budget Bounce, and I am back with our October 2020 budget report, sharing with you all of the chaos that was our life in October of 2020. So let's just go ahead and get started. So over here, you'll see that I have our income section showing here, and I have our regular salaries blacked out. We have some extra rows this time, so let me just run through them really quick. So we originally planned on $12,605 for the month, and we ended up with $13,265 to work with. So the way that all happened was, first of all, Matt went back to work in October, and so I did expect him to have some income. We also had some money come in from sinking funds. You can see we pulled in a little bit more than we originally planned. We needed to pull in $1,000 from the emergency fund. We had a little bit come in from the Budget Bounce. This is for my regular subscriptions every month. We had some extra money come in from Matt's side business. Matt's disability payment came in, and I have that blacked out just as to respect his privacy. I'm sharing my disability payment with you because I want to talk to you about it a little bit. And then we also got a refund from the ambulance company that we had been paying $20 a month to every month for, it was over a year, I think, total. So we ended up with $13,265. And I'm sorry, my cat just came in if she's being really noisy. I'm not sure how much the mic picks up here. So I want to go back to my disability payment. So this is my disability payment for the time that I was off in September. And it's the first time I've had this insurance, this short-term disability I've been paying for since 2012. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 9 years I've been paying on this. And I got a $3,285 payout. So I decided to just go do the math. So here it is over here. And you can see this is how much I paid annually. It went up every year because I was increasing it as my salary increased. And so this is, you can see here, the one claim paid for all of the premiums, just a few cents short for all of the premiums that I had paid over the course of the 9 years before. It's not about getting your money back, but short-term disability insurance is a tool to help protect your income. And you pay a little bit over time, over and over and over again, so that you have it available to you when you need it. And I didn't need it for 9 years, and then I did. And this is just to kind of illustrate for you the power of it, I guess. You know, not only did I get the funds when I needed it, but also it just felt really good to know that it was all worth it. I got every penny back that I put in, except 23 of them. So anyway, and this is for 2020 through the end of the year, knowing that I was paying premiums through the end of the year. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. So that put us at $13,265 for the month of September. All right, next up is giving, and we planned on $100, and we ended up doing $286 for October, and so we were $186 over what we originally planned. And a big chunk of that was because I did some Christmas shopping. So about over half of this was because I did some Christmas shopping. Almost all of this amount here I did early, and I didn't have it planned in here. Next up is housing, and we had our $1,075 mortgage, which is up from the month before because it resets. Our escrow account is analyzed every year, and it resets on October 1st. So our new amount, it had been $1,054. It went up to $1,075. Then our utilities for gas and electric were $135. Nothing for our water, garbage, sewer, which is the quarterly utilities we pay to the city. Mobile services was $150, internet was $101, and that put us at $1,498, which was off by just a few cents. All right, in transportation, we planned on $300 for gas, and we spent $345. We were right on target for OnStar. We had some repairs that we knew we needed to do for the Lucerne, and it ended up being $44. And then another little thing we had to buy, I cannot remember what this was since I'm recording this quite a bit later, $15 for our Traverse. And then nothing else. And we had $426 in transportation, which was $25 over what we planned. And if you're new here and you're wondering why this is so late being posted, maybe you're noticing that, maybe you're not. I'm actually filming this several months later because my parents and I both got COVID, and I was very sick. I was hospitalized, missed a lot of work. My lungs were definitely impacted. I came home from the hospital with oxygen. I had a setback in October that I'll share with you guys in a different video. But again, I had several visits to the ER, and then in October was the one that I had a confirmed diagnosis. I missed another week of work in October. Everything was just kind of a mess. So it just took a long time for me to get back to being able to get through all of my day-to-day responsibilities and be able to do things for the budget bounce and create content and that kind of thing. So something had to give, and the budget bounce is where it was at that point in time. So here I am in January filming my October budget report. So anyhow, so we were just a little bit over in transportation. Moving on to food, we planned on $450 and we spent $491, and then dining of $250 and we spent $443, putting our total at $935, which is $235 over what we planned. I increased this so this wouldn't happen. We are emotional eaters and spenders, and even though I was home for this, I was sick again in October and completely out of the loop, unable to work, unable to do anything at the house. And so we did a lot of dining out during that week and then the week after as I was recovering and trying to get back to work and whatnot. So we ended up being way over again. We didn't have any expenses for Henry. And then when you look at pets, I did not plan on, I had just gotten my October budget set up and recorded the video and posted it. I got the October budget setup video posted when we made a very emotional decision to get a new puppy. So if you haven't seen my September budget report yet, we lost our dog unexpectedly in September, and it was about 2 weeks later when the local shelter had a litter of pups available. And so we ended up getting one of those puppies, and he was 11 weeks old when we brought him home. He is amazing. He's 6 months old now. And, yeah. Anyway, totally threw everything for a loop. So I did, because we made that decision on October 1st, I came in here and made some updates into our budget and planned on spending $1,000 for the vet and other supplies that come with getting a new puppy. And you can see we went over that. We spent a total of $1,280. And so we had some food that we had to buy. We had training that we paid for, and then we had the vet and we had other supplies. So here we are at $280 over. Details. Let's move on and talk about insurance. So you can see again, we paid way more in medical insurance than we planned. We paid way more in life insurance than we planned. We paid less in dental than we planned. And it's because of Matt's work and the way that they require you to pay the premiums and whatnot. So it was really hard to keep track of because I was sick again in October. So I went to the ER on October 9th. I had returned to work on October 1st, and it was Friday the 9th, and I stood up from a meeting. I'd been at this desk. I stood up with severe pain in my leg. And as it turns out, I had to go to the ER immediately, and it was my 4th time at the ER in 5 weeks, I think. And because I kept having scares, blood clot scares. So this was the 3rd time I went for a blood clot scare, and this time it wasn't a scare. It was real. I had about a 10-inch DVT in my leg, and it was extremely painful. And the only thing that I remember being more painful than that was when I had multiple blood clots in both of my lungs back in 2013. And so, because I had a history of it, and because blood clots are a known thing with COVID, and I have a blood clotting disorder that predispositions me to blood clotting, to clots, I was on high alert for them. So anyway, things were kind of a mess in October again, after they had already been a mess in September. And anyway, just keeping track of everything was difficult, but you can see here that how things are just up and down, and it takes his employer forever to adapt, anyway, to get the deductions set up again correctly from his paycheck was such a nightmare. So anyway, it took a lot of emails and a lot of, can you fix this? Can you fix this kind of thing. So we planned at $988. We ended up spending $1,248, and that was $259 over what we planned. So this and the month of September where we were over makes up for the premiums we didn't pay at all in August when we were under. So at this point, it's October, and Matt returned to work right after Columbus Day, whatever day that was. Matt that's a holiday for them, and then he went back to work the next day. So we had one partial check for him in October. In entertainment, we had $23 for streaming, $3 for HP Inc., nothing for Cinemark, and we spent $110 on entertainment, and I am trying to remember what that was for. Oh, that was the apple orchard, because Matt took both Henry and Xanthi and our granddaughter Bug to the apple orchard, and they bought groceries. They buy jellies and honey and things like that. They came back with the apple cider donuts. They always buy apple cider. It was that. They came home with, and apples. And so they came home with all of that. So that was $110 for that day. So we were over just by a little bit. In health, we had $437 for flexible spending, $33 for the gym, and $58 for healthcare, bringing it to a total of $528, which was just $6 over. In extras, we had our McAfee renewal, and so that was $127, and I knew it was coming, so I planned for it. We had a family memorial. We did have, I cannot remember if this happened in September or October, but one of Matt's nieces, her husband died unexpectedly. It was very unexpected. He was in his early 40s. And anyway, we sent some money to the memorial fund for the family. So, and then image was $69, and that was me getting my hair cut and my brows done, and Matt went and got his hair cut. So all those things together was $69. $314 for clothes. Matt was really hurting for some jeans and whatnot, and so we put in an order. We hit a sale and put an order in for him to get him kind of stocked up on stuff, jeans and some other things. So $611 total, and we had $481 that we were over. Now, I will tell you, probably at least half of this was funded by sinking funds. So it's not as if, all of this was out of our pocket that month, especially considering that our income was off again. Even though it seems like it's high, it was off because of me being off of work again. All right, we didn't have anything in crap. I forgot about that. And then in envelopes, I spent $29 and Matt spent $27 of our personal spending. We spent $360 on household and $217 on miscellaneous, bringing this total to $635, and we're $305 over. And so this is we kind of trended upwards on this in 2020 as the year progressed, and this is emotional spending for sure. This is us not keeping things in check. This is us not paying ourselves first. We were spending first, which reduced how much we were able to put away for savings and whatnot. I'm not proud of it. It's just our reality. And this is us still reeling from everything that was happening and trying to get our arms around everything. And so we ended up $300 over. In the budget balance, I just had $13, and that was for the, and $9 for education. I cannot remember what this $9 was for, but the $13 is my standard every month I have to pay for my music subscription and for my Google storage. So $22.24 total, we were $9 over. All right, so moving on to savings. We budgeted to save $1,860. And this is because I knew that our short-term disability payments were going to be coming in. I knew both of us were going to receive them in October. And so I planned on socking a good chunk of that away. So we ended up putting $1,800 in, $50 to Henry's account, $100 to Bug's account, $65 to Xanthi's account. And then we also started up 529s for Henry and Nikayla. And this is something I had been wanting to do for a year, and I just never sat down and did it. I had this money sitting in this account waiting to put it in, get it into the 529s when I got them set up, and I finally did it. And so the total was $175. I also started an Acorns account. I decided to try it out. I just wanted to see what it was like, and I'll do a separate video to talk about my experience, but I ended up doing $18 in October. And then for M1 Finance, this is another brokerage account that I opened, or maybe it's not brokerage. I can't remember what they call those, but another investment account that I opened. I put $10 a month into that. And so then we had Matt's retirement. He had $29 go in. And then I had $213 go in for my retirement, bringing us to $2,461. You can see where we pulled the $1,000 out of the emergency fund. And I'm just going to go do the math here. $5,901 is what we ended up in our liquid accounts at the end of the month. That's these four that we could get to any of that money if we absolutely needed it for anything. And, our emergency fund was at $4,955 at the end of the month. So that was really exciting, knowing that we were coming out of this period of time when we had, reduced income because of these leaves of absence that we had. And we were still able to manage, not only keeping our emergency fund in place, but now we're building it up again. Moving on to sinking funds, you can see here we had a lot more activity that we planned, and we put a lot more in here than we had in August and September. So I'll just run through these really quick. Auto insurance was $230, auto registrations $30, nothing to business travel, and then $80 to our quarterly city utilities. In clothing, we did $100. In estate planning, I put $25. Gifts, I put $100. This is a new fund that I set up for child support settlement that we may or may not end up doing. Holidays, I didn't put anything into it. Holidays are $200. Image $40. Life insurance $81. Healthcare $50. Nothing in the one check ahead. $80 to online subscriptions. $100 to pet expense. $25 to technology, $400 to the budget bounce, nothing into our vacation fund, $200 into vehicles, and $30 into the wedding anniversary fund. And so that's a total of $1,771, which is actually $400 less than what we planned. And if you look, I'll move myself a little bit here. You'll see here our total that we have in sinking funds at the end of October was $6,542. And you can see we had to use a lot of our funds. So $200 out of clothing, $151 out of holidays, $69 out of cosmetics. I just moved this interest that built into another account. $127 in online subscriptions, $150 for pet expense, and then $45 for vehicles. So we spent $742 out of our sinking funds in October. All right, next up is our debt. And we have so many debts that we have 3 different sections here. So I have the first section is everything that's been paid off 100%. Like we're totally, completely done with this. We don't have to mess with it anymore. And that totals $32,161. And you'll see here there's 2 different colors of font. Pink font represents anything that has my name on it, and black font has Matt only on it. So if you go to the next section, we have this charged off section, and it totals $9,547. These are all old credit cards of Matt's that they're long gone and charged off, and somebody's trying to collect the debt now, but it's not anything that we are working on right now. These are all just kind of sitting here, and we'll deal with them at a later date. Then we have $172,001 in actively paying accounts. So let's just talk about that for a minute. So first of all, you'll see Medic EMS is 0, which is why it got moved up to, it's actually up here this is where it started, $659. And then Care Credit, I was hoping to pay it off, and I called them to do a payoff, and they would not come down any more than 10%. And I was not willing to do that, and I didn't have it. I didn't have all of that to begin with. So we just paid our regular $50. Then we have my GM card, and so my Capital One card, and that was $25. We have the private student loan was $50. Lowe's was $190. Our HELOC was $200. Car payment of $550, and then Matt's child support picked up again. So we paid $227, $80, and $54 to those, and then $200 for the family loan and nothing to student loans, bringing our total to $1,628. And if you come over here, you can see we paid a couple $100 in interest. We started with $182,953 at the beginning of October, and we ended with $181,548 as our ending balance. So let's just look at the totals here for a minute. So our total expenses were $13,470, and our total income was $13,265, and you can see we went over here. And that was attributed greatly to the puppy and all the expenses that we had with the puppy. Going over here to our totals, we have $263,358 is where we started. We killed off a total of $1,405 in October of our debt. So after interest and all of that was applied, $1,405 is gone, and moved our total debt paid so far to $81,809. And that brings our total percentage to 31.1% of our total debt that we have paid off. So that's pretty exciting. Every time that number goes up, every month, even if it goes up just a few tenths of a percent, it's very exciting. So we managed to get through October, even with all the unexpected things with the puppy and everything else that came with that. So we are, well on our way and moving into November and December. Again, those are months that I have to get caught up and film, but there are more ups and downs in November and December. So I'll have more content on that, so you'll be able to learn about what's been going on and how it impacted our finances. And I look forward to sharing more about this year of 2020 and the craziness and how it impacted our finances. So I hope that all of you are doing well, staying safe and healthy, and I will be back soon with our November budget report. That's all I've got for today. Until next time.